Welcome to Happy Healing and the series Homemade Remedies. Let's get started. All right, today we are going to discuss the flu or getting sick. Now, I know we covered this a little bit already, but we're going to do a little bit of an extended version. Why? Because my entire family has been sick for over a week and it was awful. We had, excuse me, every symptom. Uh, it feels like we had every symptom out there. So, headaches, high fever, extreme stomach ache, vomiting, runny nose, stuffy nose, and severe cough. And it has been, and dizziness and fatigue. It has been a nightmare, especially with my little ones. It really hit them hard. And it hit my 12-year-old daughter very, very hard. And I decided I should do an episode on homemade remedies so we can talk about what we did for the things that you can do for all of these symptoms, or when you get a strain of flu that hits you hard, whether it's COVID, whether it's, just regular flu, a cold, whatever. So this is kind of an all-in-one thing. So, okay. So with the symptoms that we had, here's how we dealt with it. So we already had in our cupboards certain things like the extreme stomach ache. I took the peppermint and rubbed it on their belly. But I'll tell you what, and the digestion, that helps a little bit. And it was good. And so we did that, but it didn't quite fix this stomach ache. And so I was like, okay, now what? We have a tea that's called Belly Comfort, and you can get it in most of your local grocery stores might have it. The brand that makes Belly Comfort, it might be the Yogi, I'm not sure, but it's Belly Comfort and it's awesome. It's got ginger in it. I think it has licorice. Probably, I can't remember all the things it has in it, but anyway, it's really good for belly. I believe it also has alfalfa in it. Alfalfa is the alpha herb and it's good for everything. So between Belly Comfort and the essential oil peppermint and or digestion from the brand is, I'm not promoting any brands, by the way. I'm just letting you know who makes what so you can find it. Is doTERRA makes that. So between those things and putting the peppermint right in their belly, it helps soothe it a little bit, but it did not take it away. Like my daughter Dandy, for instance, her stomach was cramping so bad last night. And I'm just like, okay. And it was like the kind of cramp where you have like trapped gas, or you need to go, but you can't, kind of constipated feeling, but yet you're not really constipated necessarily. And she was miserable. She was like, and that's how my youngest daughter was too. We thought she had appendicitis. We actually took her to the emergency room, but then they ruled it out, and we're like, okay. So we took her home, and then she ended up just getting sick, full on sick, and all the rest of my family started getting sick. We're like, oh, it was a sickness, okay. But they didn't do any blood tests or anything, so that's why they didn't, say, oh, you should just have the strain of flu or whatever, because we'd brought her in for appendicitis, so they just checked for appendicitis stuff and then sent us home. So, but anyway, my daughter Dandy, finally, I was like, okay, she's had tea, and I'm like, well, what was the last thing you ate? And she described what she ate. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. That shouldn't, cause this issue. And you've obviously, I'm like, have you been able to go to the bathroom? And I'm like, have you pooped today? In all honesty, I don't remember what her answer was, but she said she hadn't pooped recently, but that didn't mean that she hadn't pooped that day. I don't know. But anyway, she was so uncomfortable. I'm like, well, you want to try to poop? And she's like, I don't need to. And I'm like, okay. And I'm just like, well, you want to try anyway? And so she was just like, oh, and she was just so miserable. So after she drank the tea, put the peppermint on, finally, she was sitting on the yoga mat that's in our living room. I tossed her one of our couch pillows, and it's kind of a firm couch pillow. And I said, because as a kid, I remember laying on a pillow on my stomach when it hurt, and it just helped so much. So I just threw it at her and I said, okay, lay on this. She did. And immediately she was like, oh. And she also, aside from that, also step three is what we did is my husband had massaged her stomach. Also, we have rollers, and I also have a weighted soft ball that's 5 pounds. I had her, lay on that, and she's like, "It hurts so bad to lay on." I'm like, "Well, yeah," and so and it's going to feel uncomfortable because of the stomach ache. But anyway, between those things, and then finally, I just threw her the pillow, and I'm just like, "Lay on that," and she did. And she grabbed another couch pillow, and then she laid on that, and then she put her head on that, and she slept half the night that way. I'm like, just leave her there. So find a firm, if your stomach is hurting so bad, find a firm surface, preferably put a pad like a yoga mat, that still gives you that firm thing. Get a pillow, put it on and lay on it, and then lay your head comfortably. And hopefully they'll give you some relief. I mean, on the couch, you could do it, but then what you want to try to find is that you want the pillow to dig into your stomach a little bit to where it gives it that relief, but at the same time you're not, because you also want to be supporting your back, and if you're on a couch or a soft surface, you know then you're gonna depress in, and that's gonna anyway. So I recommend that's how you do it. The other way to do it too is to curl up on your kind of like in a child's prayer position with a pillow underneath you or something, and that will help alleviate as well. So, okay, so stomach issues. And then when you're having these kinds of symptoms, again, the best things to eat, okay, so this is what my children and family was able to eat during this time. And I think I've already recommended this before. So we had a lot of teas, right? So belly comfort, ginger, right? We did a lot of ginger. And also there's one called Immune Boost, and you can actually find that at Trader Joe's, and any other grocery store, basically, or health food store. But it's immune. It's immune and stress is what it is, and it has elderberry in it and lemon something. Geez, I can't think. But it helps keep their immune system up. So we drank a lot of that tea. That helped a lot. And then these are the tinctures that really made the difference that we took. Cueto Silver was one. Everybody took Cueto Silver. Now, my young son who finally got sick, which was sad, who has Down syndrome, he's very hard to get anything down him, but I can force something up his nose. So I took Cueto Silver, and it's a spray up his nose thing. And I just kept spraying that because it's a natural antibiotic. It also helps with whatever sickness, So I would spray that up into his nose, and it would help with the congestion and everything. And because he is miserable. And so this is how I've been able to keep him pretty good. And he has actually had more energy by me doing that than the rest. Like, he's puny, and he'll have his down times, but then he'll be like, I'm good, and he'll go and he'll play for a little bit, but then he'll be like, I'm dead again. So anyway, but yeah, so Cueto Silver, and something I really recommend. So we were doing Cueto Silver, but then the sickness was lingering and lingering. I'm like, this, and wild cherry bark syrup. So we did Cueto Silver, and then we did wild cherry bark syrup for the cough and sore throat things. And that is so helpful. So I also made sure that because it was lingering, I'm like, okay, I feel like we need more. We ran out of golden seal. Golden seal is also, it's a natural antibiotic, so good. So we were doing Guido Silver, golden seal, and we were doing and we were taking these in intervals at a time or whatever. But then we ran out of golden seal. And so I'm like, well, I need to go get some more. And while I'm there, I'm going to get some things specific to what they're suffering from. So I went and I found a Cueto Silver that had oregano in it. And I was like, yes, oregano is very powerful. And I also found I don't know what the brand is, but it was called Bronchio or something. And in the Bronchio, it had marshmallow or not marshmallow. What's it called? Oh, I can't think of it. But anyway, it's got wild cherry bark syrup. I believe it had elderberry in it, and it had peppermint or menthol or something in it. And we had all these ingredients that were so good to help with deep in the lungs, cough and congestion. I was like, perfect. So I grabbed that. at our local health food store. I also found an herb that I have forgotten about for a very long time. My husband and I, we used to use this all the time in San Diego and in Pismo, but it is an amazing herb. It's called feverfew. It actually helps with fevers and inflammation. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was so stoked when I saw it. I was just like, I wish we always had this in our cupboard. So I immediately grabbed that off the shelf. And then I also grabbed some more golden seal. Well, actually, they might have been, no, they had it. Um, but anyway, so what between these herbs, these really started helping. The symptoms started to lighten up. But we did the bronchial, we did the quato silver with the oregano, and I actually took the bronchial and I took a tablespoon and I put that in there because I also had wild cherry bark syrup with it, so it kind of was almost an all-in-one thing except for the Quail Silver part and the oregano. So I took the Quail Silver oregano mix and I put a couple of drops in there because it's pretty powerful. It's like the oregano is like spicy and oregano is super powerful. And so I put some drops in there, and then I would give that to my kids, and it has helped significantly. And then we kept making sure they were drinking teas and whatever, and lots of rest. So rest is so important. And unfortunately, because of the sickness, there was a lot of loss of appetite, and there was like almost 2 days where my second oldest, my son, he didn't eat, and he lost a lot of weight. And oh my goodness, I was like, oh, he's so thin. Like he's already a thin boy, but my goodness, I was like, he looks like skin and bones right now. And so I'm like, dude, you need to like build back up. And he is very like lethargic and everything right now. And so we're coming out of it. But so when you have a sickness that just smacks your home hard, and I did not get sick yet. I have what we call a mom immune system, where God has blessed us to where we don't get sick as easy because we got to take care of everyone. So I have yet to get sick, and I'm so grateful. And I've had a lot of people praying for me that I don't get sick. And I haven't slept, that's for sure, because I've been up at night with the littles, but for, a good almost 2 weeks straight. So that's been fun. But I've been feeling pretty good considering, and I'm pretty stoked about that. So yeah, but yeah, the things to do. So as a recap for all of this, so when sickness really smacks your family or whatever, like you need have these in your cupboard, okay? So I recommend finding that bronchial one, and that one that has like the wild cherry bark syrup, and elderberry would be nice, or some sort of peppermint, and it's got like other herbs in it that are good at, what's it called, astringent or whatever, that helps like clean up congestion and whatever, and dry all that mucus out. So and then Quato Silver, have that in your cupboard. Feverfew, have in your cupboard, and oregano. And if you can get a mix of any of those, get that. Also golden seal, so incredible. So always have golden seal in your cupboard. We also have what, peppermint spirits in our cupboard, and that really helps with headaches and stuff. And we also have a tincture of clove, and that really helps. I like to mix the clove and the peppermint together. That helps with any kind of cold and headache symptoms. And because clove, oh yes, clove is amazing whenever you have any kind of cold or teeth issues or any kind of like infections in this area. So incredible. So have clove on hand. And then any essential oils you want to have on hand are peppermint, digestion, clove, because clove you can put right in your mouth on your teeth and for teeth aches. In fact, my daughter was like, Mom, I have a toothache. It hurts so bad. I was just like, I don't know what to do for you. Because I was out and I was just like, and she's like, and I didn't have any clove at home, so I couldn't tell her to put any on. But then we have this teeth pulling mouthwash that I got. It's basically fractionated coconut oil with some essential oils in it. And one of the essential oils, I believe, is clove. And I was like, oh, do the mouthwash, just mouth, swish it in your mouth for, I think 10 minutes is what I told her. And she did. When I arrived home, she's like, Mom, it cured it. And I was like, perfect. So you can do that. You can take fractionated coconut oil. I do it myself. and I put in clove, several drops of clove, several drops of peppermint and tea tree oil. And then I do just a couple of drops of oregano, and that can almost take away any and cure anything that you've got going on in your mouth, and swish it twice a day, once in the morning, once at night. And you want to the recommendation is 20 minutes, but I never go 20 minutes. The longest I've gone, I think, is like 10. But truly, if I'm being honest, it's around 2 to 5 minutes. So, but yeah, and you can do it more than twice a day, but recommended if you have teeth problems. So, okay. So, make sure that to keep the fever under control, what I did is took peppermint. I have a roller bottle with peppermint in it, and I rub it on the back of their neck, especially the littles, because if I rub it on the front, then it's too strong, it gets in their eyes and it's miserable. Older ones I can put on their forehead, unless they have my daughter, I can't. I can only put it on the back of her neck. I can't do anything above here with her because she's a little sensitive to peppermint. It's too strong for her. And but everybody else, like even my little Down syndrome son, who's the smallest in our family right now, he's definitely not the lightest. He's a hefty boy, but um I rubbed that on the back of his neck, because if it's here, he's going to touch here, and then he's going to touch his eyes, and it's going to be in his eyes, and it's going to be miserable. So just rub it on the back of his neck, and it's really helped keep the fever down. Also, cold packs help a lot. Again, lots of rest. So tinctures, teas, essential oils, all these things can really help fight off and keep the symptoms of a really gnarly sickness like we had at bay, and make things more comfortable. And also, like my daughter, when she had the headache, any noises and light was just torture to her. But if you can, some of my children, they were like miserable. But then, I'd put on their favorite show, and we'd been watching. We did a lot of Bluey. Sometimes it made my older daughter frustrated, because she's like, I don't feel good. I can't stand the TV light. So, yeah, don't do that to people who have the headache or whatever going on. But for those who are just laying down and chilling, sometimes having something sweet and to watch can help, make it more bearable. You know what I mean? So like, feel let yourself relax and enjoy, okay, I'm sick, this is what I'm just going to enjoy relaxing as much as I can, even though I'm feeling pretty miserable, and then turn things off and rest and fully sleep when needed. Listen to your body. You've got to listen to it. So, all right. Well, anyway, I've got taxes to catch up on, because this is my tax season. So I didn't want to make this too long, but hopefully I have covered anything that has been, helpful. If there's tea out there real quick. I also got, which is called Throat Coat. Incredible. It's got wild cherry bark syrup in it, and it has this other herb, and I can't think of the name right now, but it really helps when you have a sore throat. So if you have kids with sore throats, use the Throat Coat. It's incredible. The brand is the same brand, I believe, that makes the Belly Comfort and all the other ones that I've mentioned. And I don't remember if it's the Yogi brand or not, but you see it. It's Throat Coat. The label on it is mostly red, and it says Throat Coat in the red area. So look for that. There's a lot of red, yellow color on the box itself. So yes. So Throat Coat, I'm just trying to make sure before I get off that I didn't miss anything important. But yeah, okay. So if you have any questions, or you want to reach out for any kind of advice or whatever, please feel free. You're welcome to DM me. You can get on Instagram at Happy Healing. It's let's see, the handle would be Happy Healing to You. That's my handle on I believe it starts with an at Happy Healing to You. So the number 2 and the letter U. So Happy Healing, and then the number 2, the letter U. And then that's how, or you can even go on to my website, happyhealingtoyou.com, and you can go on there for any kind of information or whatever contact, and you can email me through there as well. And and then we're also on YouTube, and you're welcome to get on the comments in this, obviously we're on YouTube because I'm putting this on YouTube, but you can but if you're listening to the audio of this version on the podcast audio version, then know that you can go to YouTube and you can also reach out there. You can also, if there's a way to leave comments here, by all means, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to be able to, talk shop if you want to. So, all right. I hope you have a beautiful day and may you be well. And just so you know that every advice given here is only advice. So everything that you do at your own risk. And as I always say, do your own research, use common sense, and happy healing to you. All right. Take care.